I'm sitting at my desk, happy about what's happening with Voxter and some of my other positions that I hold. And then I watch this one YouTube video and it makes me realize, oh boy, there's a bloodbath out there. There's literally a bloodbath out there. People are having mental issues. They're quitting investing. They're quitting YouTube. So that's what we're going to cover in this YouTube video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mariusz Konieczny. I run Microcap Explosions, a website dedicated to microcap stocks, which are ignored and underfollowed by the investment industry. I also wrote about 10 books on investing, one of which is available for a free download at microcapexplosions.com. I also created valueinvestinguniversity.com, which is a free resource to make you more intelligent investor. You know, I usually don't pay attention to the market, to the macro. Like, I just mind my own business, I mind my own companies, and you know, from time to time, I look at what somebody else does, or maybe I'll go to YouTube and some videos get pushed on me. And that's what happened the other day. And I look at this one YouTuber that talks about how, you know, he hasn't made a video for 2 months, and he's a financial YouTuber. He hasn't made a video for 2 months. And then because of anxiety issues, because of mental issues, because of hate comments, because of subscribers being down, views being down, and of course the stock prices being down. Of course, you know, big reason for that. And how going forward, he's not going to talk about individual stocks as much or maybe at all. And then I start looking at some other YouTube channels, and then I see this YouTuber is quitting, another YouTuber is also quitting, and one guy is talking about how he's getting so many negative, critical comments. The other guy is talking about how some people are sending him pictures of his house and are, you know, threatening his life, right? And I'm like, whoa, this is getting serious here. And you see, it's not surprising, and don't take me wrong, this is not negative video or bashing anybody, but here's the reality. Here's the reality of what happened over the last couple years. A lot of commentators, stock market commentators, YouTubers, seeking alpha writers, people on Twitter started talking about stocks, right? Started talking about stocks, and I'm talking about the big names, the hot stocks, Meet Kevin, you know, Jeremy from Financial Education. I mean, all of these people started talking about hot stocks, the next Tesla, the next this, and you know, following people like Cathie Wood, right? And then we have this huge run up in these growth stocks. And anytime you have a price, stock prices going up, of course, this creates a lot of activity, right? And you know that I always talk about how growth investors don't pay attention to the value that their companies have. All they're paying attention to is the prices, right? Prices going up, everybody's happy. So then you have these people make YouTube videos about all of these popular stocks, and then their channels explode, right? Their viewership explodes, just, you know, they become, you know, popular, right? And me at the same time, during that time, of course, my personality is never to talk about the big names, because I don't like the big names for the obvious reasons. Like, you know, everybody knows about them. There's, you know, not much mispricing possibilities. And I don't have the urge to, you know, talk about these popular names, you know, zero interest in Tesla or anything like that. So my channel, you know, just gets a little bit of a boost when I started talking about the tankers, right? But that kind of gave me a feel of like, okay, when you talk about popular names, big names, your channel can explode, right? I could have easily transitioned and talk about Teslas, Bitcoin, crypto, and no question about, you know, my channel would have exploded. But instead, my channel stalled, right? After the tanker trade was over, the growth slowed down. I actually had less of a growth in 2011 than I had in 2020. But anyway, so these young YouTubers, young influencers, talk about these names, and then the prices go up and everybody is happy. Everybody thinks that they're right. And then, of course, you know, the sell-off comes, right? The Fed raises interest rates. Cathie Wood gets absolutely smoked. And a lot of these names go down. And you saw me make a video on Meet Kevin, some of his picks. These names go down 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%, right? Of course, you're going to have the entire market being, depressed, facing anxiety. And when you're talking about from the point of view of these influencers that make these videos, it's a tough spot to be in. And I know that because I've been in that spot. When I had a newsletter and I talked about the mining stocks from 2012 to 2016, I didn't want to get out of bed, right? They were so bad. And it's not bad when you have a portfolio of, 20 stocks and one of them goes down, two of them goes down, no big deal. But when you have a portfolio of 20 stocks and every single one of them goes down 80, 90%, you can't hide. Like, it hits you so bad, and it hits you even more when people start pointing finger at you and they start blaming you for their misfortune. And it's a horrible feeling. You don't want to get out of bed, right? Of course you're anxious, of course you're depressed. So I went through that. And now I'm seeing that these people are going through the same thing in a different sector. And I feel bad for them. I feel bad for everybody because, you get the dopamine fix when the prices of your stocks get more expensive and you feel like you're on the top of the world and you don't pay attention to the businesses. You just tune in to people who tell you what you want to hear. And then when it blows up, people should be blaming themselves, but they're blaming everybody else. So now these YouTubers are depressed. They can't take it anymore. Think about it. If you were getting emails, somebody threatening you, showing you a picture of your house, and constantly you waking up to messages that you destroyed someone's financial future, right? It takes a toll on you when it's day in and day out. And a lot of these guys are young, in their 20s or 30s, and they never went through a downturn. And a lot of the people that are investing in the stock market, they might be young too. Millennials got Robinhood accounts, and they've never been through a downturn, right? And now the downturn decimated them. So of course they're angry. Of course they are not interested in watching more financial videos, right? So that's why these financial channels, they don't get many new subscribers, they lose subscribers, and their viewership is down as much as 50 to 90%. So if you are putting out content and you lose subscribers, then now all of a sudden less and less people like you, right? If you put out videos and you put the same amount of work and now you get 50 or 90% less views, it's like people don't like me anymore. So it hits them, right? They don't have that experience of how to deal with adversity. Now, I'm talking about this because there is a lesson there. There's a lesson there, and then there is a statement there. And right now, it's very fashionable to talk about the next recession. Very fashionable to talk about the housing crash and this and that. Even though the stock market crash already happened, they're talking about it now. And I'm thinking to myself, look at the bloodbath that has already occurred. Look at the number of people that are depressed, not just the influencers, people in the market. Look at the hedge fund managers that are afraid to touch anything. You tell them about Voxter, they're running away. Even though Voxter is going up, they're afraid. Everybody is afraid, right? So to me, it's like, how much downside do I think it is? Oh, the economy can get worse. So what? So what, it can get worse. At the end of the day, the prices of stocks depend on how much there's buying power for those stocks. And remember what Warren Buffett always says, be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy, right? There's no question as to whether people are fearful right now. They are fearful, they are hurt, they are depressed, they are anxious, they're crying, they're sad, they're scared. I think that's a good formula if you want to make money, right? I feel bad for them that the situation is like this, but hey, stock market is not an entertainment game. Stock market is a very brutal capitalistic endeavor. That's the reality of it, okay? You are either an opportunist or you're a victim. Now, one final thought is what's really amazing to me is that, you know how I always talk about how microcap stocks are viewed as toxic and risky by the investment industry? And the interesting thing is that I'm not feeling the desperation, anxiety. I'm not getting any hate comments. I'm not saying I won't in the future, but right now I'm not. So in other words, the big names that are considered safe and approved by the investment community are the names that decimated the investment community. And the stocks that are supposed to be toxic and we should stay away from, they're the ones that barely declined. They're the ones that are making us rich. I mean, look what's happening with Voxter. Voxter is hitting all-time highs during this market. Can you imagine what's going to happen when the market turns? Can you imagine what's going to happen to Voxter? Right now, when I'm talking to hedge fund managers and I'm talking to people and I'm telling them about Voxter, they're just finding excuses why not to invest. And I'm just kind of checking their pulse. And all I get is a bunch of excuses. And yet the stock price is soaring higher. And there is so much more of them that are going to join the party when Voxter becomes more screenable. But I just find it very fascinating that the sector that we are all supposed to be afraid of, and maybe I shouldn't say sector, specific companies within the sector, because I never look at the sector, but they're the ones that delivered a performance to us that you and me are sitting, we're okay. If it wasn't for the news, if it wasn't for watching others, we wouldn't even be aware of the bloodbath. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what to do. Subscribe, comment, click on the notification bell, and thanks for watching.